President Donald Trump is dropping his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS over leaked tax returns from his first term. Now, the case is being dismissed with prejudice, meaning he cannot refile. It comes as the administration weighs a $1.8 billion fund for people who say they were unfairly targeted by past tax investigations.